Hi there and welcome to my Monday Live. My name is Paula Reid and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator going by the name of Yellow Bear Stamping. Now, we all like to buy the DSP that we have, and the issue I find is that I don't always use my DSP. So I'm on a quest at the moment to make cards that use the DSP. So let's switch down the button and get started. Now, I hope you all had a safe weekend that didn't get too many issues with the weather that we had. It wasn't too bad here in Auckland, which was good, but I know that friends down out of Whakatane, they had some trees fall over that came pretty close to the house, so it wasn't was a good outcome, but not nice to have that so close. So let's get started. This is over the weekend on Saturday, a group of demonstrators. We got together virtually. We were going to meet up in person, but with the price of petrol, and then as it worked out with the weather, we did it all online, and it was great. We all made a project and we just used the supplies that we had on hand to make those. So I'm going to share one of the cards that was taught, and I think it was originally by a demonstrator in the US called Mary Knabe, and she does some really great cards. So we're just having a standard card base, so that is 10.5 by 14.8 scored 14.8 across here by 21 and scored at 10.5. What we're going to do is just cut along up here to make that. So I'm going to turn it around and we're going to pop it in at the 4 centimetre mark. So let's see if I can bring that there. So there, we're going to do that, and we're going to use the cutter and cut from there up to the score line. So, and that's at 4 centimetres. So I'm just going to bring this on a bit. Now with the trimmer, the blades, you've got a line just up here, and then there's ones left and right. Whoops, we don't need to cut my hair. Left and right as well. And so then I can see roughly where that is. So that's what we're doing, just doing that little cut there. While I've got my trimmer out, I will cut my DSP. So this card's really good for those landscape, the scenery designer series paper. And this is from the Thoughtful Journey 6x6 designer series paper that is currently in the annual catalogue, but is due to retire at the beginning of May. So I've almost used my paper. So I thought, well, I would use this one. So this measures 10 centimetres by 13.8, and I want to cut it on this side at 3.5. So I can pop this in my trimmer, and the 3.5 mark is just here. Okay, and we're going to cut that, and then I can put my trimmer away. Right, so we're just going to, I forgot to bring I'm just going to quickly grab my bone folder from my other table. Forgot that. Something with using two tables. So we're just going to give that a really good burnish along there. Right, so this is a very quick and easy card to do. So this piece of the paper is 10 centimeters by 10.3, and we're also going to cut that same size in basic white for our insert. And so we're just going to put some liquid glue on and pop that down. I tried a few of the different colours that are in the paper. It's also got fresh freesia, but I decided that the Blackberry Bliss just really set it off. Hi there, Lisa and Sylvia. Well done, Sylvia. Hope you had a lovely day on Saturday. It was so lovely seeing your the photo of the ceremony and the celebration of your awards. So that was awesome. Right, so now this bit here is 3.5 centimeters by 10, and this will just go on this little flap. Now, the current catalogue is due to finish at the beginning of May, and that will also mean, so there is that the list has come out of what products are retiring, which is what happens, and then we get some new ones at the beginning of May, which is very exciting. There's some really nice things coming out. But also just remember that if you have the in colours that are the 2024 to 2026 colours, which is Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, Shy Shamrock, and Summer Splash. If you've got the inks of those, I would recommend that you purchase the re-inkers, so that gives the life of your ink pads just that little bit extra by being able to re-ink them. And if you liked any of those colours in the cardstock, and I'd order that fairly soon so that they don't run out. Right, so this bit here is going to get stuck down. So this is a really easy card to do, and just is quite nice, different way of rather than just having straight just one your sheet as a whole. Now when I cut this before, I did it at the 10, and then I thought, oh right, yep, card front 14.3, and so then when I realised I actually only needed it 13.8 wide, it gave me another little bit of an offcut. So rather than waste, I am just going to make sure so I need it in that orientation. So it is 10 centimeters this way and 10.3 this way. And so I ended up, I didn't even know what measurement these are. They're just the little offcut bits. So I thought, oh, well, they can both go on the inside. This is a new glue, and on the weekend it was coming out in a big bit, and now it's not coming out at all. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just pop this at the side, and I'm just going to leave a little bit of white on that side. So just going to have it like that. And then, because this would, if I'd left it whole, it would have been hard up, but we're just going to do a bit, and then I'm just going to leave another little gap between, and just wipe off that, and then there's it for my inside. So then we will pop that in, and that goes in there. there's our card done. Right, now I did stamp this, and I'm just going to give this another good burnish now that I've got my papers on there. Like that. So that's all good. And so I have just stamped. So this is from my go-to stamp set. I'm just going to come back in. Simply Said. Now, this is on the list of retiring, but I will still be keeping it because I use it heaps. And then last night when I was making some other cards, I noticed that the stamps just weren't sticking, and so I just filled up the basin in the bathroom, made sure the plug was in, just put a little bit of soap and just some lukewarm water, gave them all a good rub under the water and dried them off, and now they are all back to being sticky. So if your photopolymer stamps lose that little bit of stickiness, they don't stick back to the adhesive sheet, acetate sheet rather, and they don't release, they're not sticking onto your blocks, give them a wash and they come back and they're just, yeah. So then, I don't know what it does, but it just makes them to stick a lot better. Right, so we are now going to put the sentiment on. I'm going to use dimensionals, and I only want to stick the dimensionals on this part so that when this lifts up, the sentiment is adhered to here and not to this bit. So my trick for that to know where to pop my dimensionals is that I kind of work out, okay, I want it about there and to have that amount of overhang. Then I turn it over and then I pop my dimensionals on here like so, like that. And so then actually I wonder if I should put it, might move it back one more so it doesn't have as much of an overhang. There we go, that'll do. And then you take the backings off and then you can pop it back on. So it's going to go about there. And so when I, oops, it's not quite, there we go. So when I lift it up, you can't see the dimensional, like I haven't come over on this part, and we're all good to go. Right, so now we're going to put some embellishments on. Now these ones have actually retired, but these are the frosted iridescent dots, but I just thought that the colour of these would actually go really well with this card. And I'm just trying to decide. I'm actually going to go with these sort of bluey ones because put it on the blue bit up here. Then we'll pop one there and don't stick just yet. There. So there is the card. Very quick and simple, but a really nice way, so it will stand up like that and you get the whole effect of that scenery paper. So here's another one that I did. This one was using Meandering Meadows, and I think that was the last full sheet that I had of this paper, and I've done the same thing, popped strip of the designer series paper on the inside and just used some of the brushed butterflies, and then that was a bird one that was from, I think it was from the Meandering Meadows suite that I had just one left, so I've got one bird and two butterflies. So there are the cards, and just a great way with your scenery paper to make it look really nice and simple. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I will try and get the measurements put up as well, and then you can recreate yourself. So have a great night, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining. Bye.